critical issue. We are all here very happy that tonight we can listen and learn many things from you actually, especially for our students. It is very important for those in postgraduate level. They have to write good paper, of course, for their publication. And then this is, I think, the time, very good time for them to listen from you, from the directly from a person who has a very high impact journal and very high H index corpus. I think that's all from me. I give time to Dr. Zakiuddin first, to continue to host this session. Yeah, thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for the nice opening, Prof. Herman. So let me give you a brief introduction to the students about Professor Hasanuzzaman. So Professor Hasanuzzaman is currently working as associate professor at the University of Malaya Power Energy Dedicated Advanced Center, Higher Institution Center of Excellence of or Haikoi maybe
This is Haiko.
Haiko, okay, Haiko, and it's located in University of Malaya, Malaysia. And Professor Hasanuzzaman was listed among the world's top 2% scientists for the year of 2019, and he holds a PhD and Master Engineering Science from University of Malaya and Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering from Bangladesh University of Engineering and Technology. And Professor Hasanuzzaman also a program coordinator for Master Renewable Energy from September 2012 to September 2020. And Professor Hasanuzzaman also associate editor at Alexandria Engineering Journal in Elsevier. It's a quartile 2 with impact factor of 2.4. It's quite high for the journal. And Professor Hasanuzzaman also associate in chief in International Journal of Renewable Energy Resources at the University Malaya. Guest editor, Renewable Energy Elsevier. It's Q1, quartile 1. It's quite high, 6.274 impact factor. And also guest editor at the Advances in Mechanical Engineering, editorial board member at the Energy and Environment. Also and author of the book Energy for Sustainable Development, published by Elsevier. So his research interests include thermal engineering, renewable energy, solar energy, solar thermal energy, energy and buildings, energy policy, transport, and electric vehicle. And also he also author and co-author more than 100 research paper and more than 50 conference proceeding. Professor Hasanuzzaman has more than 3,350 citation with an H index of 32 in Scopus index, and it's quite a high number. And also 4,600 citation with an H index of 35 in Google Scholar Index. And Professor Hasanuzzaman also has supervised and supervising more than 45 postgrad students. Am I correct, Prof? More than 45. And Prof. Hasanuzzaman also has secured and managed more than 7 million ringgit national and international research grants as a principal investigator and co-principal investigator. Also, Professor Hasanuzzaman received an International Research Awards on New Science Invention in 2020 at the University of Malaya Excellence Award 2012 for his outstanding achievement in PhD also in Bangladesh Scholarships Council and the Nippon Foundation Japan about 2003 until 2004. So that's quite resume, Prof. Hasanuzzaman. So perhaps Prof. Hasanuzzaman can share a bit of your excellence to our graduate student and our undergraduate student, so that they can learn from you, so they can achieve similar to Prof. Hasanuzzaman. So Prof. Hasanuzzaman, I give time and screen is now yours.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum and good
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
evening. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share some experience in terms of publication and research. So this is just very short, not very brief. Short. If we want to give very details, so it takes a long time, but I shall try to give some idea. What is the main things, what is the important parameter, or what need to do for good publication or to write a good thesis. So, okay, so you already know the title, the scientific paper writing for high impact journal and ethical issues, and this is my contact information. So before starting the main topic, I want to give some briefing about the University of Malaya. So University of Malaya is the oldest and top public research university located in Colombo. With more than 30,000 students, including undergraduate and postgraduate. Then the rank is 59, the world rank, according to QS World Ranking 2021. So in terms of Asia, you can see the top 10 best universities in Asia. And this one, you can see 2018 to 2021, this ranking is increasing. Very good ranking now is okay. Just I want to make the point. Just a minute. Okay, so now currently is this one is 9th in Asian university ranking. So I am from Higher Institute Center of Excellence, University of Malaya Power Energy Dedicated Advanced Center. This is one of the HICO, and this good thing is that we get some money from government directly, Ministry of Higher Education, to do research. So this is our main focus. We do research in the field of energy. Basically, you can see mostly is renewable energy. This is the solar energy, solar photovoltaic thermal, solar energy, solar photovoltaic. This one is electric vehicle. This one is more on demand side management or energy supply and demand. This one also is smart grid. So this is our main focus for UMPTech. Okay, so we have 3 programs. Mostly, basically we don't have undergraduate. This one is postgraduate program, Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Philosophy, and Master of Renewable Energy. So this is the main discussion or knowledge sharing session that I going to share with you. The first one, we shall try to discuss concept of a good paper. Then basic part of a good paper. then how to start writing. This is the very important thing. So how and from where we can start writing. Tips to write a good paper. What should be there? Then how much we need to write? How much take time? Right? Writing is section. Writing is section. Writing is section of the paper. Length of good paper. Length of a good paper. Publication ethics. Plagiarism. Publication is a teamwork. I shall give you some idea how we can publish good paper, right? Then what to expect from your supervisor, right? Supervisor, what type of help we can get from supervisor. This is the main discussion today. Concept of a good paper. This one is very, very important, right? Need to know what is a good paper. An original contribution to current knowledge, that means state of art. Need to identify problem. The research paper or thesis, the same thing, just size. This one is small size, the thesis is bigger size. So what need to do? First, need to identify a problem or questions which has not been previously solved or answered. Need to solve the problem. So first we have to identify the problem, then we have to solve the problem or answer the question. Then we have identified, then we solve. Then the third one is need to publish the research findings in a peer review journal. Then we can consider it's a good paper. So that means there are three things. One is problem identification. Number two is problem solving in terms of numerical, experimental, or analytical, whatever it is. We need to solve the problem or answer the question. Then we have to publish it in a good peer review journal. Then we consider it a good paper. So basic part, as we know, this is the basic part of a good paper. Abstract, introduction, methodology, result, discussion, conclusion, if there is any acknowledgement and references. So this is the basic part of a good paper or good thesis, whatever you want to write. Normally, result and discussion part we combine together. As there is a very good relation, so we combine together. So how to start writing? That is the important part, and how we should start it, right? Best way is to prepare an extended outline, whatever it is paper or it is thesis. So this is very important part that you have to do a few pages. Then what you have done, you have to make an extended table of content. List is section and subsection. As for example, in result and discussion, or the easiest one is methodology section. What will be the section and subsection? As for example, experimental setup, equipment, what type of equipment we use for our experiment, right? Then what type of data we collected. So this is data collection. Then what is the basic equation we use during our experiment or data analysis, right? What type of equation we use, normal analysis or calculation. Then is there any error analysis or that type of things? This is the subsection. So we have to list down each section and subsection, then carefully review it, the outline. What type of materials we use, right? Then if more or less, if missing anything, we have to add. If unnecessary anything, we have to remove. That means delete. So this is the very important things. Then after that, you can list down all the figures and table in a logical order. As for example, during your experiment, what type of equipment you use. Then what is the specification of the equipment? List down all. Then take some figure of the experimental setup, then equipment, that type of things. So if you list down in logical order, that means I believe more than 50% work we have completed. Then try to write it. So this is the figure. So in the case of experimental setup, so you have the figure, you have the experimental setup, then write it, start writing. So this one is power meter, this one is data analyzer, right? Data logger. As for example, this one is temperature measurement equipment, this one is voltage, this one is current, right? So that type of things, you know already, you have done it. Just need to write in logical order. So if you follow in this way, it will be easier for you to write, to make it more effective. Then explain it, what type of result, each and everything. So where should we start? This is the very important part, starting. So as for example, in thesis or paper, there are few parts. The basic part of the thesis or paper, almost same thing that I already shown you: abstract, introduction, literature review, methodology, result and discussion, conclusion, acknowledgement. So where we should start first? The best place to begin, where you feel most easiest. So how is one is easier for you, easiest for you? I think this one is methodology, because what you have done, you know already, that you can see it directly. What you have done, how you have done it, what type of equipment you use there. So better to start with methodology section. Then just write down what you have done, carefully, formally, in a logical way. The first, what you have done, you try to set up your experiment. So when you set up your experiment, what type of equipment use? Okay, draw a figure. So this is my experimental setup. Then second figure, you can draw the what type of equipment use. What is the measurement range of the equipment? Then what is the data collection? Then right, what type of data you collected? Then data collection procedure, what type of procedure you use? As for example, which one constant, which was variable, then how much you vary, that type of thing. It is easiest one that you have done yourself. This is the easiest part, right? Then try to get copy of other paper or other thesis. Try to see it, please, right? How it written, then what you have to write. If you have a copy, then you can see it, right? What you have to do. It will be easier for you. And avoid repetition. This is very bad habit. Do not repeat, right? Even though your sentence, better to write yourself. Later on, I can discuss this one, why we need to write using our own word, own sentences, not repeated even though our own sentences. Later on, I shall discuss that one. Then must not copy other work. If you copy, there will be some problem. Then maintain thread between section, subsection, right? Word and sentences. There should have a one story, not 100 and 1,000 of story. Just like a novel, just one story, starting to the end. It should be one story. Then use the variable according to the general practice. As for example, right? Then some people use haze is heat transfer, Q is heat transfer. So better to use Q. This is general practice. CP, right? This one is that type of things is general practice. Then people will not get confused. Okay. Then the text must be very clear, easy to understand. Right? The simple phrase, no need to write big sentences, just small sentences. And very easy English. No need to write in very complex English. It must be connected and convincing agreement, not just a list of factor observation. As for example, that I mentioned earlier, this will be one story, not combination of many stories, right? Then this one is very, very important, illustration and diagram, readable in terms of graphical style, explanation of variable. So when you will draw a graph, the self-explanation is very, very important. When people will see, they will understand, oh, this is, you want to show this one. What is the meaning, increasing, decreasing, right? What is the meaning of the graph? What type of information you want to show your reader? It should be very, very clear in terms of visual presentation. That means the text should be very clean, readable, right? The information what you want to present, this one should be very, very clear. Then people will read it easily, right? Explanation of the variable that I mentioned already. Then this is the main thing that I want to discuss at the primary level. You need this one is very, very okay. So do not start with introduction and conclusion. That I already mentioned. Which one is easiest one? In my opinion, at the beginning, better to start with methodology section, then result and discussion. After the methodology, then you have done, how you have done, what is the procedure, each and everything you know. Then what is the result? What is the basic equation? You analyze, right? So this type of things you know already. Then try to write the result and discussion section. Complete this two first. This is the most important part of your thesis or your paper. The same thing. So after that, you can extend other things. Maybe introduction, then you can read it. Introduction, go back, right? Then this one I want to discuss actually. The what should write? I already mentioned. You start with methodology, then result and discussion, then introduction, then abstract and conclusion. Abstract and conclusion at the last. Never write the abstract and conclusion first. This one should be at last. Okay, so what should write in the abstract? This is the main part. We know we have to write the abstract. What is abstract? Abstract is a short paragraph that summarizes the entire paper, the summary of your work, of your paper, of your thesis. This is not the first paragraph of the introduction or first paragraph of the result and discussion or methodology section. So this is the summary, whole thesis summary. So what should we write in the abstract? Based on my experience, every year I review many theses and many papers, high quality journal. I review many papers every year. And many people, they cannot write abstract properly. I think most of the people, they don't know how to write abstract properly. What is the basic content? We should know first, then we can write. What we need to write, we should know first, then we can write. So this is the basic content of the abstract. I think you can take one picture of this slide. So what is the basic of the abstract? You can take photo. The first one is problem. What is the problem? Then methodology, then result and conclusion. So what is the problem and how much we have to write in the problem and how much we have to write methodology? I want to give some idea. Okay, what is the word range? We have to know first in terms of journal, what is the word range? How much? Is more or less 150 to 250 word. This is depend on journal. Most of the journal, they follow 200 word. If more than 200 word, you cannot submit your paper. So we have to follow 200 word. In case of thesis, it will be 500 word. This is depend on your university. In my university, we follow maximum 500 word for abstract. Okay, so if we consider this is a paper, so our abstract will be maximum 250. And based on my experience, most of the journal, they only consider 200. So out of 200, how much will be problem? How much, right, will be methodology? How much will be result and how much will be conclusion? There is a 4 basic component of abstract. So the problem is just a bigger picture. As for example, energy or materials. Then how much? 1, 2, 2 to 3 sentences, not more than that. 1, 2, 3 sentences, not more than that. So as for example, energy. Just start, if we consider energy, what is the bigger picture of energy? We have to write, as for example, normally if I write a paper, I write the energy is the basic need for automation, modernization, right? Economic growth. This is the basic need, right? Then problem. What is the problem? Energy. Most of our energy depend on fossil fuel. So if you use fossil fuel, what will be the problem? There are 2 types of problem. Number one problem is fossil fuel is very, very limited. Right? There are some prediction or estimation, you can say, that is more or less after 30 years or 40 years, it will be finished. Then after that, so that means this is limited resource. And number 2 is environmental impact. There is a very negative environmental impact. So this is the problem statement. We can say in bigger picture. Then number 2 is method. So this is the problem, right? So what is the methodology? To solve this problem, right? What you are solving, as for example, you want to use renewable energy, as for example, solar photovoltaic system, or you are developing the materials, then how you develop, what you have done to develop your material, to develop the experimental setup, you have to write 2, 3 sentences, not more than that. This is called method. You have to write in short. Then result. Here no discussion, you cannot discuss it, only findings, result. 2 to 3 or 4, 3 to 4 sentences, not more than that. The concrete findings with measurable word. What is measurable word? Measurable word means by numerical value. As for example, 20%, right? 25 kilo, it can measure. 5 kilo we can measure. 20% we can measure. The 20% mean if you have 100 ringgit, 20% mean you have 20%. You want to give me 20 ringgit. As for example, we can measure. We should not use something unmeasurable word. What is unmeasurable word? This is called huge amount, substantial, huge increase, decrease. This is unmeasurable. This type of word should not use in abstract and in conclusion. Abstract and conclusion should be very concise, and measurable. This is the thing. Then conclusion. So result, what is called, I already mentioned, right? The result is 3 to 4 sentences. Then conclusion is 1 to 2 sentences, not more than this. The conclusion, the findings. Here, no need any discussion, just numerical value. The 10% will increase, 10 kilo increase, that type of things, right? This is very, very important, because when we submit paper, this one, if someone is expert, they don't need to read this one. They will see us, the abstract, they will see. Then they will realize, oh, you are expert, or you are writing in order, in a proper way. Then they will get a good sense. Oh, you are expert, so your paper will be very good. If abstract is not written in a good format or in proper format, there will be a negative impact on your paper. Sometimes immediately reject, right? This is called desktop rejection, test rejection directly. When the editor will see, he will reject. This is called test rejection. Okay, so the abstract is very, very important. No need to read many things. Just abstract. If I read the abstract, then I can see. This is called first sight. First sight is very, very important to check. Okay. Then introduction. Introduction. Why we need to write introduction? I think time is not very limited time. So why need to write introduction? Introduction is the motivation of the reader to motivate, right? Or to read your paper completely. This is called introduction. This is motivation. So what we have to write here? The first, the state of art of the issues. What is the problem? What type of things? That type of things, right? Why important this topic? Then give a problem statement, right? Provide necessary and relevant background. This is called literature. Right? Background. As for example, why this topic important? If this one important, what is the current state? That means literature. What other people has done, that you have to give. That they have done this one, then this is their result, right? The other people, they have done, how they have done. You have to link with methodology section, right? I think later I can discuss this one. So you have to link it. This is called literature. The other people has done, published, we have to link with our paper. Right? This is important. They have done this one. At the end, you have to give something that there is a problem or research gap. We can say there is a research gap that we are going to solve the problem. So there are many gaps, right? The gap is huge, but we cannot solve all type of problem. We have to identify major problem that you can solve. This is called an objective of the paper. At the end of the introduction, you have to write. Just I give you some about the literature. What is literature? Right? In paper, no need separate literature section, but in your thesis, you have to write a separate chapter as a literature review. But in paper, the literature section part is inside the introduction. So what is literature? Literature means show reader, right? To show the reader what relevant work has been conducted on this topic. You are saying this is very, very important topic, right? Then you have to give some background information. We can directly say background information. This is really very important. Then other people, they also try to solve it. And how they solve, right? Address what is known about the issue. That means what they have done, what is their result. From where the problem arose and how others have attempted to solve this problem, right? Then concrete on most important publication. Use primary literature. So today I do not want to go there. The literature, there are three types of literature. Just to give you idea. I do not want to go very details. Primary literature, secondary, and tertiary. Primary is original research paper. Secondary is review paper. Third is published book, report, or something like that. Okay, so keep it confined to topic really related to your own one. Then when you will review the literature, you have to be very serious related to your topic. No need to review so many papers. Just try to concentrate or focus on your topic. Then make sure you do not miss the latest literature. This is very common comment about the literature not up to date or some is missing. There are a lot of latest literature, but you did not review it. And make sure you have understood what you have cited. This is very, very important. Okay, so this is the introduction part, right? Introduction is the main part of the introduction should be to motivate reader. Why you are going to do this or why this problem is important, right? You have to focus them. This is a really a problem. We have to solve it. You have to motivate the reader. Then the reader they will think, oh, really, this is a very big problem that we need to solve it. Then they already motivated, right? The reader will be motivated. Oh, this is really big problem. Then he will try to see how the author tried to solve it. So you have to find out, you have to give some motivation that this is really a big problem. That type of things. So in the now, as we are a student or author of the paper, so someone will review your paper or someone will review your thesis. So what they will looking for in the introduction or in the literature section, what they want to see. The first one you can see here, is the literature is relevant or not? You are working on energy or material science, right? So as for example, there is a tree, someone asking you to write an essay on cow, right? Then you have idea how to write essay on tree. Then someone give idea, oh, okay, so you know how to write essay on tree. Then bring a cow and fasten the cow with the tree. Then you start writing on tree. So this one will be essay on tree, not essay on cow. We have to focus. This is right. So is the literature relevant or not? What you are going to do, you have to give very focus. Then the review is critical or just description. Critical review is very, very important. So critical review, that means you have to link with methodology section, you have to link with result and discussion and variation, right? Is it comprehensive? Does it link with methodology in this paper? That I already mentioned, right? Does it summarize the essential aspect or not? I shall give one example. As for example, we are working in the field of photovoltaic and we did experiment for different time. We can consider the 2012, we published one paper in very good journal. Energy conversion and management, solar energy, right? Renewable energy, very good journal in the field of energy. So as for example, 2012, we got efficiency is 15%. 2015, we published another paper, efficiency is 14%. And as for example, 2020, we publish another paper, efficiency is 16% or 13%, we can say. Then which one is right and which one is wrong? Actually, all are right, because this is very good journal. If the information is wrong, they will not publish high quality journal. So what is the difference? Difference is methodology and what type of equipment we use. As for example, 15%, the highest efficiency we got 2012, because this one is normal, just simple experiment we did. We did not control each and everything, but after that simple experiment, then we updated our experimental setup. We try to control each and everything. Then this is more accurate, right? Then more accurate. Then that is why the result is accurate, even though low, but accurate. But normally sometimes in our perception is different. As for example, some people, or we also think, oh, we are doing research, that means we have to show better result. No, this is wrong concept. The result, both negative and positive are result. This is research. What is your finding? This is research. It may be increase, maybe decrease, maybe positive, maybe negative. This is findings. So if you think, oh, I am doing research, so I have to show some positive result. So this is not correct concept. This is wrong concept. This is called bias. Okay. So in methodology section, this is the important part. Everybody, they will read. Every examiner, they will read. Even the examiner or whatever, the reviewer, they will read this one, two part. They read normally. One is methodology, another one is result and discussion part. So what we need to write in the methodology section, I already explained. The goal of this section is to explain two important things about a paper or thesis. Number one is, what have you done? What have you done? How have you done? This is two things. What you have done, how. If you answer this question, then your methodology section complete. And this is easiest part, right? Justify your choice. Explain why your plan was appropriate for paper. Right? I think this one already explained. This one need to write step by step, step by step, step by step. All experimental setup condition, experimental procedure, setup mean all equipment, their specification, what type of parameter you measure. This is called experimental, right? Then experimental procedure. Procedure mean how you have done it. What was constant, what was variable, then how you vary, right? The temperature variation from 30 degree to 100 degree centigrade, then mass flow rate, this one, as per the materials, and 0% to, right, 10% or 0% to 5%, 0% to 1%. This variation, the which one variable, which one is constant, how you vary, this is called procedure. So you have to mention. Then measurement, how you measure it. Then error analysis, what type of equipment use, is there error analysis is important or not. Then biasness, each and everything. Right? Then basic equation, all the things you have to write here. Okay, what is the basic, right? The research design, experimental setup, research procedure, research instrument, data collection, mathematical formulation. The subsection can be this one. Okay. Then what examiner looking for in this section? Is there is a clear methodology. Clear mean the starting to end. I already mentioned it should be one story, not 100 and 1000 of story. One, what you have done, how you have done, clear, right? Precaution taken against bias, that I already mentioned. Most of the researchers, their concept is, oh, we have to get positive result. No, it can be positive, it can be negative. You don't know the previous researcher, how they have done. Maybe their result is wrong or the experimental setup is different. So if you think they have to increase their efficiency is 20%, at least I have to show the efficiency is 22%, 21%, or 25%. So your result will be wrong. This is misconcept, wrong concept. Okay, are the limitation identified? That means there are some limitation in your experiment. Better to mention it. An expert, they can find out your limitation, even though you hide it. Okay, I don't want to go very details because time was very limited, 1 hour already. Under the, okay, then the data collected appropriate or not? The data collection, what type of data you need? You have to link with methodology section. You have to link other paper, how they collect, what type of data collect, and how they analyze. You have to link, always you have to link with their methodology and their findings. And the methodology is justified or not. So what you are doing is justified or not. How you will justify? You have to see other paper. At the end, in the result and discussion, you have to mention. I think there I can give some example. Then result and discussion. This is very, very important part. Everybody will read this section, right? The common practice to combine them, I already mentioned, right? Include summary of the findings. What is significant about them? Do not include every single data point in the text. Then you have to give priority, right? Priorities, the things, which one you want to show and how. The best way is figure. If you cannot draw figure, better to show the data in a table, figure or table, right? The results are commonly presented in the form of figure and table, right? That I already mentioned. Describe the condition. This one is very, very important. What was constant? What were the other relevant parameters? As for example, right, you consider one parameter, but other parameter, is it varied or is it constant? If constant, why constant? Which one is constant? If variation, why variation? How much variation? You have to link. If vary, what will be efficiency or what will be the impact on the result? Show measurement error or standard error on the graph. Material science, you have to show this one standard error analysis on the graph. Okay, then explain the meaning of your result. Not only, there are two words. One is, as for example, reading newspaper, reporting. Another one is reading, one is reporting, right? There's someone reporting something happened, some reporter is reporting. Another one is analyzing. There are different type of term. The meaning is totally different. One is reading, another one is reporting, another one is analysis. Another one is critical analysis. So the term is different. In our case, not reading, not reporting. And this is very common comment. So this is look like a report. Report means reporting. There is no critical analysis. But when you will write a paper or thesis, the critical analysis should be there for a good publication. Without critical analysis, we cannot publish in a good paper, in a good journal. Okay, explain the meaning of your result means where the result fit in the current literature. right? Whether the result match with the or deviate from the others. So what is the function of introduction or literature review? Now you realize that why you review the literature. Normally, people don't compare their result with current findings. So it will be just like reporting. If you want to analyze, that means you have to link with literature. The current literature, someone has done related work, that means literature. Then you have to link your findings with the literature. It is matching or there is a deviation, increase or decrease. If deviation Y is less or more, you have to link with the methodology. As for example, maybe their experimental setup was different, or their parameter is different, their measuring equipment is different. So you have to link with them, right? This is called critical analysis, right? Does the result give new findings? Does the result suggest new theories or mechanism? If new is okay, then you have to match, right? That type of things. Make sure all the caption makes sense and describe what is the figure and table really restated or not. This one is very, very important result and discussion section. You have to always compare and you have to link with methodology section. What you have done, what they have done. What is your result? What is their result? If matching, why matching? If not matching, why not matching? You have to give justification. This is called critical analysis or comparison. And itself, your analysis also should be critical. Why your result is increasing with other variable? Why decreasing? Why constant? Critically, you have to analyze, not as reporting. Oh, I have done this one, I got this one. This is called reporting, not analysis. Okay, what examiner looking for this section? Okay, that's the solution obtained related to your question. At the beginning, the concept of paper, the concept of thesis, I discussed the three things. First, you have to identify a problem. Number two, you have to solve the problem. Number three, you have to publish it. Then we can say this is paper, good paper. Right? Three things. So number one is to identify a problem or question. You can see here, does the solution obtained related to the question posed? So you have to go back again. What was your question? Or what was your problem? Right? So what you have done, what we have, right? Got it? This is related to your question or answer of your question or not? Does the label and form of analysis appropriate for the data or not? What type of data you have collected is it appropriate? Number one. Number two, how you have analyzed. This is appropriate or not? Then present the result be made clear or not? There your presentation in terms of table, in terms of figure, it is clear or not? What you want to show, it is clear or not? And what you are showing, is it correct or not? The relationship. So many things, right? Then are the pattern and trend in the result accurately identified and summarized or not? So many things need to discuss, I think. Okay, so does the software, as for example, if you do numerical analysis, so you have to verify the numerical model, right? So there are different type of verification, or we normally say validation and experiment. Better option is experiment, right? Your result, the numerical solution or simulation result is valid by experimental result, right? Or there are other option. I think most of your cases is experimental work. No need to discuss very details. Does it link to the literature in the paper? This one is very, very important. That is why I make it red. Does it link to the literature in the paper? Means always you have to compare with literature. That is the function of literature. You already mentioned in the literature they have done this one. This is their experimental setup. This is their findings. So there is a gap, research gap that you are going to solve. So you have to compare what is the gap with them and how is your result. You have to compare, always compare. That means you have to link with the current literature. Otherwise, it will be just like reporting, not analysis. Okay. The conclusion. This one also very important part. What need to write in conclusion? We should know first. This is the concise statement, very short and concise. No need to write 2-3 pages, just half pages. 200 words is good enough. Right? Conclusion should be directly related to research course. What is your course? Directly link with your course. Here, no need to discuss. Discussion is another section. No need to write many results because result and discussion is a big chapter. So here, only concrete findings in concise way. Right? Show the importance and implication of the research. So you have got, this is the things as for example, 5%, 30% in concise way. Then how you can implement it. And do not try to pretend things which you have not achieved. Don't show something else that you have not done or you have not got it. The real thing you have to show it. Okay. Then the writing is section. Sorry, this one is reference. This is very, very important in the case of journal. Research, your thesis is different, right? You have university guideline, better to follow in university guideline exactly. But in journal, you have to follow it accurately, strictly follow the format according to the guideline. Because these are no need to read. Just when you will see, then you will know, oh, this is the format, but you did not follow. So there will be a negative impression. Then something bad will come for you. So better to follow. This is no need, just one side. They decide, see the paper, immediately they can measure. So you are not very serious author because your format is not good. If you cannot format your paper exactly, correctly, so what will be your content? I think then immediately reject. So better to follow each and everything properly. So what will the length of the paper? Normally, in terms of paper is 4,000 to 6,000 words. Solar energy is very good journal, excluding table, figure, caption, and references. This one is research paper. Then, as for example, for renewable energy, almost same. But in research review paper, the length is up to 10,000 word. And this one depends on journal. What, right? Then this is the another part that I want to give some idea. The ethical issues. As you are a student, you should know it. All the lecturers should know it, right? What is ethical issues nowadays all over the world? This issue is now very serious issue. Even though some professor, after getting professorship for their mistake, right, they lost their job. Someone already completed PhD degree. After that, something happened, unethical, then university canceled their PhD degree. So we have to be very serious about ethical issues. So what is ethical issues? What a deadly sins. Unethical behavior can earn rejection and even a ban from publishing in the journal. That means if something have an unethical, they will reject your paper, revoke your paper, and they will ban for ever. That means if something happens, the author cannot submit paper anymore. Okay, so what is unethical things? Number one, you can see here multiple submission. Multiple submission means at a time the author can submit 2-3. Right? When if they submit 2-3 journal, this is called multiple submission. More than one is multiple. It is unethical. Right? Redundant publication. Redundant publication, that means one set of data they are representing many, they are publishing just different presentation and they are publishing in different way. And this is called, then data fabrication and falsification not important. And there is another one, the problem, the great problem is now, a big problem is now plagiarism. So what is plagiarism? I want to give focus on here. These two can easily, your supervisor, normally supervisor or student, if they are ethically good, they will not do this thing. But this one, sometimes even though we are serious, but we don't know what is plagiarism. I want to give focus on here. Okay, so here, what is plagiarism? A plagiarism is the act of taking someone else's work and passing it off as your own work. That means you are taking some information from others and you are showing this work is as your own work. So this is called plagiarism. This is not your own work, but when we present it, we think this is our own work. This is called plagiarism. So according to the dictionary, you can see to steal and pass off. First, there are two things. First is steal, then pass off. The idea or word of other as his own word. Then use, right? You can see to use author production, other production, another people production without crediting the source. That means no citation. This is your idea, but I am using as my own idea. I am not giving credit to you. This is called, right, plagiarism. To comment literary thief. This is one type of cheating or thief. Right? To present as new and original idea. This is actually not new. Already you have done. But when I present it as a new or original idea. So this is all are cheating. So this is all are cheating. That is why plagiarism wrong. So is it really a big problem? What do you think? Yes, answer is really a big problem. Why plagiarism is wrong? Why this is a big problem? If someone is plagiarizing, he or she is cheating. As for example, this is not my work, but I am presenting. This one is my own work. This is not new work you have already done. But when I am presenting as a new idea, original one. This is all cheating, right? So do not learn to write by using own one. So if someone is cheating, someone is plagiarizing, just copy and paste, they will never learn how to write it, how to, right? Then plagiarism is dishonest because it misrepresents the work of another as well, right? Okay, I think you can take photo. This one, you can take a photo for this one. I do not want to discuss. I think already 9:30. That means 7:30 or 8:30. Half an hour more, not half an hour, right? Okay, so here there are 10 types of plagiarism that are written. do a survey among the 9,000 secondary and higher education instructors. That means university, lecturer or student, right? And they find 10 type of plagiarism. What is clone? Clone means 100% copy paste, word for word, right? Then Control C, right? As written, right? The most of the part is copy. Then find and replace means just you have changed few words or synonym, that type of things. Okay. So this type of things you have done it intentionally or unintentionally. This will be plagiarism. Please take one photo. Later on you can read it. I shall give you idea. Then, as for example, I want to give you, I have or you have published one paper. There are two types of plagiarism. One is plagiarism of text, and another one is plagiarism of idea, concept. What is plagiarism of text? So this is mainly the plagiarism of text. That means copy paste. How? You are copy some part of other paper, then paste. This is called plagiarism of text. Satu dua tiga ayat. Right? Then you copy paste. This is called text. Another one, I want to give you just one example, simple example. You have published one paper. Then same paper, if I paraphrase it, just everything is same, just I have changed the English. Right? Everything same, just I have rewritten, paraphrasing, rewritten the same thing by using different English, different word. So is it my paper? No, this is not my paper. This is your paper that you have published. What I have done, I just changed some part or 100% change paraphrasing, then turn it in another software. They cannot detect. But the concept is yours. Then I use it by own English. So this is called plagiarism of concept, plagiarism of idea. So conclusion is there are two types of plagiarism. We can say one is text, another one is concept. Even the concept you cannot copy paste. You have to cite it. If you want to take text from other, that means you want to copy paste. You have to cite, at the same time you have to paraphrase it. Okay. Then self-plagiarism. Self-plagiarism means, is it really how it possible? Can I plagiarize my own work? Is it really? And how it possible? But yes, it can be, and it really is possible. Right? How? Passing of on previous disseminated work. As for example, I am publishing many papers. The data is same. Maybe presentation is different. So this is self-plagiarism. This is self-plagiarism. Or as for example, very simple example, assignment. So first semester you have submitted one assignment, right? The second semester you are submitting same assignment to another lecturer. So this is called self-plagiarism. Should not do it. Okay. Then how to check it? So there are different type of software: cross-check, plagiarism, Grammarly, right? The pre-check plagiarism and similarity index. Right? Similarity means text, how much similar with other. And plagiarism I mentioned. There are different type of plagiarism: concept, right? Text, self-plagiarism. So this is, you have to check also. There are two things. One is plagiarism, another is similarity index. Similarity index means when you will submit your paper to any similarity index checking software, they will give, oh, this part is from that paper, this part is from that paper, how much is similar. That result, right? So use Turnitin or other software. Similarity index depend on journal, individual journal. But in general, normal similarity index is less than 20%. Okay. So plagiarism, do not do it. If you do it, there is a punishment. What is the punishment? I don't want to go very details here. The title being revoked. That means if you publish, if something happened after publishing, not 1 year, 2 years, longer than that, it can be revoked. That means cancelled. Right? Destruction. And the author being banned from publishing. That means if something happened, this author cannot be submit paper anymore to the journal or to the company, as for example, LCBR, IEEE. If banned, they will never publish any paper. Right? Then for more information, you can see this one. The instruction was what is going on all over the world. Please, I think better you can take one photo. Then later on you can see what is happening. Right? Even though in the corona situation, you can see they have published paper, then plagiarize. Okay. So publish and perish. Before the slogan was publish or perish. Now slogan is different. Publish and perish. If you break the ethical rule, that means you have to publish and you have to follow the ethical issues, ethical rules, ethically. You have to done each and everything. If you break the ethical rules, what will happen? You can see here, sick of crying, tired of crying. Yes, I am smiling, but inside I am crying. That means you cannot publish any paper anymore. Right? Then their career also. Sometimes even the professor, they can lose their job because of this one. So need to be very serious, right? So this is where just short information. I think time also not, and then we have I think some question and answer. If we have, and I can finish it. Then publication, we know what is publication, how to write it, right? What is the ethical issues in terms of thesis, in terms of paper. Now we need to do work, how we can publish and what to do. Publication is a teamwork or alone. You can publish alone. You are a student. Can you publish alone? I think can, but it will be very, very tough for you as you are new. You don't have experience. So which part you can do and how much you can do and how much your supervisor will help you and how much supervisor should help and what type of guideline you can get from your supervisor. I shall give you some idea. Yeah. Okay. What to expect from your supervisor or expert? Publication is teamwork, right? Your supervisor is on your side. Your success is their success. So what they will give? Quality assurance. Quality assurance means, right? When you discuss with your supervisor will give you some idea. First, right? What is the research gap? You can read several papers, then you can discuss with your supervisor. He will give you idea what you will do. Then quality assurance. Quality assurance means what you have done is good enough or not. And what you have to do, how much you have done. Is it good enough for publication? Is it good enough for thesis? Right? Then if anything happen, right? Then what standard a paper should reach? Then in terms of writing, you can write it, but the quality, how much? Then supervisor will help you. Or expert, if someone is expert, they will help you. Then indication where to stop, that type of thing. Emotional support, encouragement, right? Right? You can see here encouragement. Then constructive atmosphere. Encouragement means if some student come, right? You have to give some positive motivation, positive impact or motivation. Right? If you publish this one, if you do this one, what you will get? People always want benefit. If you know what benefit you will get, right? You will be ready to do this one, even the hard work. So motivation is very, very important. We cannot force to do it, but motivation is very important. If you know, if I do this one, how much benefit I can get, then you will be ready even the hard work. Okay. Then you can see in the research I already mentioned, but in a summary, what is the things? First is research idea. You can take photo also. This one also can. You can take photo. First one is research idea, or research question, or research gap. This one is starting right. Just this one. Then you have to read literature. Then everything you have to do it right until the end here. Right? Already I mentioned comparison with other, theoretical interpretation of result, answering the empirical research question. That means you identify a problem, right? You are solving. Then you have to, at the end, you have to check it, the what is your question and what is your answer. Is matching or not? Right? The data analysis, data collection, research design, planning, right? I already mentioned each and everything. That means there are 5 sections, right? Or we can say major 4 sections. One is introduction. Number 2 is methodology. Number 3 is result and discussion. And number 4 is conclusion. Right? Here, the 4 things, right? So we have to do it. So here I can just share. So before that, research idea. Start from here. Research idea. That means planning. As for example, research planning is very, very important. What type of research we have to do it? How you will do it? You should have a plan. Then experiment or data collection. Right? This one and student can do it. This one is not very tough, but this one hard working job. Right? Data collection, experimental work, then data analysis and writing. This one is not very tough, but need to work hard. Okay, here another one is quality assurance and publication. If we summarize, this is the 4 things. One is, number 1 is research planning. What you will do, what type of things, right? Research courses, literature review, experimental setup, everything you have to plan it properly. Starting from the research question to experimental setup, each and everything we can say this is research planning. After that, right, experimental or data collection. And then data analysis. So you know already the basic equation, how you have the thesis and many papers, so you have idea how to analyze data and how to write. But the quality assurance for publication need an expert level. So in my opinion, there are 2 things. Number 1 is planning, another one is quality assurance and publication. This is need expert level. The research planning, everything, the student need help from expert, from supervisor. And the quality assurance, your English, writing style, improvement, for publication, you need help. Right? So team work to shape the paper publishable means we can go back again here. There are many things: planning, experimental and data collection, right? Data analysis and quality control. This part student can do it, right? But the supervisor need help to do this one until the experimental setup. So students don't know what type of experimental setup, what type of equipment, how to do it. But supervisor, they have idea, they are expert, so they will help you. So this two is expert level job to publish a good paper. If your experimental setup is not good, even though you are taking data, you cannot publish it. Right? Your analysis, you can do it if your data collection is good. But the quality assurance for publication is very important. Need expert help. Okay. So this one is very important. Okay. Then key to success. Key to success, there is no medicine. There is no other things without practice. You have to practice it, you have to practice it. As for example, someone is very strong, healthy, tall, everything is there. Everything he has. Can he play football or can he play cricket? I think no. You need to learn it. Not only learn, you have to practice it. Practice, practice, practice. Several times. Even though very good player, if they don't practice it regularly, they cannot get success. Right? The key thing is practice. You have to write it. You have to write it. You have very good brain, but this one is just like you are strong, you are healthy, you are tall, right? You have this resource, but when you will practice it, you will get benefit. So without practice, very difficult to get success. To get success, you have to practice, practice, and practice. I think so far, this is my presentation.
Okay. Thank you very much for the nice presentation, Prof. Hasanuzzaman. Hello.
Okay.
Oh.
Welcome.
Okay, so I think it's very comprehensive about the ethical for writing high impact journal, especially for our graduate students. So they can mostly they struggle about how to cite some articles. Sometimes they just take all parts from the other paper without considering this ethic information. So I think we will have a Q&A session for the students so they can observe more about this ethical issue regarding the paper writing. So we have one question actually from Mr. Rifai Muslih. Mr. Rifai asked about how about rewriting paper with other language. I think probably Prof. Hasanuzzaman can direct to that question directly. Hello, Prof.
Okay, hi.
Can you hear what I?
Yeah. I can. Okay. So, what is your question? Is so other language, right?
Right.
How? Yeah. Other language, even though other language. So when you will write, you have to cite and you have to paraphrase it. Cannot take 100%. Right? You have to write your own word, using your own word. I think its line is so long. A defined language, right? But you have to cite the original paper. This is the idea from this paper, and the information is from this paper. That I mentioned already, there are two types of plagiarism. One is text and one is concept or idea. Even though different language, the idea is from other authors. Got the point?
Yes, Professor, I guess we get the point. And I think that's a very important point to point out about the sometimes we got a reference from English and we want to convert it, translate it to another language, and we need to consider to paraphrase the uh, the sentences, I guess, Prof. And another question from Mr. Rahmat Hermawan. What about in the middle of the research? We got error of data and we have standard to measure it. Should we have to inform in conclusion about this particular interpretation of the data?
Okay, in this case, I think better to mention. So this is the problem. That is why there is a error. Otherwise, if you submit as a full experimental result or this is complete, the expert, especially for paper, when the reviewer will review it, they can see this one. Then they will reject it. And if you write in this way, so this was our plan, but anyhow, or because of this one, we could not complete it, but we got this result. Got the point? I just give one example.
Right.
You need a very sophisticated high-tech equipment. Is around 400 million, right? Or 4 million ringgit. You need to buy it, but you don't have money.
Right.
So what you have to do? Whatever in your situation, whatever you have, you can take data, then you can analyze it and try to compare with other. Then you can mention this one, I have done this one, this one, this one. Right? And this is my experimental setup, this is my limitation. At the same time, you can analyze error analysis. Show this one.
Okay.
The reviewer will see this one, oh, okay, there is a problem. So this is not your problem. Okay, I think.
Okay, I think that answered the question, Prof. We have another question from still Mr. Rifai. I will try to summarize the question. And Mr. Rifai mentioned that his English is poor and he has to write in English. So does Prof. Hasanuzzaman has some advice, any tools or probably suggestion how to deal with the English barrier, and also probably still from Mr. Rifai, also how to define the other order.
Okay, in this case, the basic part you can do, experiment, right? Then data analysis, the basic thing you can do. Then you can get help from your friend or someone expert, they can help you in terms of publication. But in thesis is very difficult.
Right.
Yeah, this is who will help you. In terms of publication, you can, as for example, your supervisor can help you, or your friend who are very good in English, they can help you. But thesis is not few pages. This one is 100 or more than 100 pages. So you have to improve yourself as much as possible. Then you can get help. Or other ways, there are other ways. You can send it to proofreading.
Right, proofreader. Right.
Yeah, proofreader. Yeah.
That's the best way to send it to proofreader. Right.
But
Thank you very much.
before sending to proofreading, you have to write it at
Right.
least.
At least to write.
Yeah, at least to write.
Correct. Okay, thank you very much, Prof. There is another question from Morris. Morris asking your opinion regarding the morality and ethical values when it comes to a country or a place during this paper building. Does it play a lot of effect towards the paper building regarding this country or place?
Okay, I did not get it clearly. Can you explain it again, please?
Probably Morris can directly say it to Prof. Hasanuzzaman. Morris?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay, so basically I was asking regarding, countries have different values towards their like traditionals and culture. Well, does it like play a lot of part during like the paper building? Do we have to follow like those set of like cultures and guidelines set by the community instead of the one from the editor, etc.? Thanks a lot.
I did not get it clearly. Okay, so as for example, so ethical issues, I did not get it clearly, but what I mean, you have to follow anyway. You have to follow the ethical issues before publishing whatever it is.
Okay.
This one is
Yeah.
very important.
I think the question regarding ethical issue, maybe, for example, stem cell, or maybe maybe human ethics, or maybe animals.
Yeah. Now I get it. Yeah. So ethical issues is writing ethical issue, one thing. Another is animal, human issues. This is related to biomedical or related journal. Right? So this one you have to follow. Whatever ethics is, we have to follow based on the journal requirement. And journal also, in this case, the medical or human or animal, we need to fill up the form. We have exactly follow the ethical issues.
Okay. I think that answer your question, Morris.
Yeah, that really answered my question.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Right to the next question from Mr. Agus Kabans. It is an intriguing presentation from you have presented, Prof. Hasanuzzaman. So, Mr. Agus Kaban wished to inquire in terms of the latest period of literature. So, should we hinder to use reference more than 5 years of the publication? And the second question is regarding the novelty of the research. What is the characteristic of novelty, either in terms of methodology, or the conclusion, or the paper that the most reviewers seeks? Thank you.
Okay. The question number one, the references. This is depend on the field. Even though 2 years is old, but in some field, even though 10 years not old. I just give you one example. In the medical field, even though 1 year is old, this is depend on how fast the technology is changing. In terms of ICT, mobile phone, even though 1 year, the technology already old. But in terms of engineering field, materials engineering, right? The 10 years also not very old. This is depend on specific field, but better to use within 5 years reference. In our field, engineering and technology, material science, 5 years is okay so far.
Okay. Okay. How about the second question, Prof? Is it also
Okay, novelty, right?
novelty, right?
Novelty is, this is depend on your literature review. When you will review the literature that I mentioned in the introduction section. So you have to motivate them. And motivation is very important. So when you will review, there will be a research gap or research question that you post, right? So you have to answer the question. You have to prove the current literature, right, is inadequate, right? There is some research gap. That is the function of literature review. Then at the end of the literature review, you have to write what you are going to do. What is the new thing there? That new thing will be novelty of your work. What is the different from other of author? What is the different, right? Your work from the literature. That is the novelty. We can directly say.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. For the next question, Prof. Hasanuzzaman. So we have one question here. Sometimes I also struggle with this question, perhaps. So what is the border between writing results and discussion? So sometimes we split the chapter between results and the discussion part. So if we choose to merge them into one chapter, how should we make both point clear and not mixed up?
Okay, so if we write the result and discussion section combinedly, it is better because there is an interrelation. But we need to differentiate between them. What is result? What is discussion? Right? I already mentioned there are three types of things. One is reading, another one is reporting, another one is analysis. Right? So reporting means what you have got from your result. Just draw a graph. This is reporting. But analysis is something, why this one is happening, why increase, why decrease. So if, right, decrease, if increase, why? So this will be discussion. So result is increase or decrease, this one is result, and why and how it decreasing, increasing, this will be discussion. I think I make it very short. Is it okay?
That's okay, Professor. Okay, right to the next question from Mr. Yuda Pratesa. Here, sometimes some journal need us to give a name for a reviewer, and we usually have some problem to find a correct reviewer or perfect reviewer. Sometimes it's very long to get a response. Do you have any suggestion about this regards, and how many percentage of self-citation that normally use up in our manuscript?
Okay, this is very good question. Number one is the reviewer. Okay, this one, when you will submit paper, you will see suggest 3 or 2 reviewer name. The statement is there. Then after that, you have to read what is written there. There are some ethical issues also. The conflict, this is called, we normally say conflict of interest. Who can be your
Reviewer?
Reviewer? There is a conflict of interest. Now, When you submit any paper in LCBR, they also asking the author contribution, declaration or author contribution, which author, what they have done, right? That type of things. So when you will suggest the reviewer, better to check your reference.
Okay.
Right? The reference means you have read their paper. That means they have published their paper. They are expert in your field.
Right.
So you can use their name as a reviewer. But in normal case, the editor, normally they don't send to the proposed reviewer. Okay, but this is compulsory. We have to propose name.
Right.
Okay, better option is, easiest option is, you can suggest their name, right, from your references. Okay.
Okay. So from references.
Yeah, it's better one, easy one.
Okay.
Then
So yes.
and another one is a self-citation, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Self-citation.
The self-citation should not be too much. If the paper is very, very related, then you can, right, you can use it as a reference. But if not related, you should not use many references. And there is no limit, but better not to give so many references.
Okay.
If related, you can cite. In terms of, as for example, review paper, you can use more. Review paper means you are already expert in this field. But in research paper also very small, not very big size, right? So better not to use so many references from your paper. Okay.
Okay, I think that pretty much answered it. So we have last question here, still from Mr. Rifai Musli. It's about the authorship order. How about the authorship order?
This one depends on your student, your supervisor, and sometimes also the country, But in standard system is who contribute more. He will be the first author. Bottom one. And normally supervisor will be the corresponding author.
Usually, right.
Supervisor will be corresponding author, and based on your contribution, who contribute more, you can be first author.
So normally who contribute the most will be the first author, right?
First author.
Right.
Yeah.
And how about
if student contribute more, student will be first author. If supervisor contribute more, supervisor will be first author, right? If you have 2-3 friends, as for example, so who will contribute more? He will be first author, he or she. Okay.
Right. Okay, thank you.
And nowadays, I already mentioned, nowadays when you will submit paper, you have to declare the author contribution. Right? Who contribute what? Okay.
We need to mention who contribute the most, right?
Yeah.
And it's still connected to the previous question. How about the acknowledgement from ethical point of view?
Okay, acknowledgement means in terms of financial support, right? You have done the experiment. Who will provide you experimental setup, right? Experimental facilities, any equipment or financial support. If you are research assistantship, someone help you, right? Or government give the financial support to do the experiment, right? You are getting a research assistantship or a scholarship from government or university. So you have to acknowledge their contribution. As for example, sometimes you can get help from other, right? Just minor help. just he corrected English or something like that. So if you put author is okay. If not put author, you can mention in the acknowledgement that he or she helped, right?
Right.
To check English or something like that.
Okay. Okay, I think that pretty much answer all the question here. Is there any other question for? Okay, we have another question. So Mr. Rafael Setiawan. So Mr. Rafael Setiawan is currently writing a literature review paper on e-waste recycling, and he's struggling to decide which part of the discussion to be included and excluded. Does Professor Hasanuzzaman have some tips on selecting which contents to be included and excluded, especially for a literature review article?
Okay, actually, the review paper is not like as before. They also now changing the review paper structure. I don't know what is in your review paper. Normally, in review paper, we have to give some guideline. Okay, the present condition and some guideline, some findings to the reader for future information, the challenges and prospect. Okay, in discussion section, normally there is, we can omit also in discussion section, no need to directly write. We can write in this way, the potential solution and future research. Or if you want to discuss, keep discussion section also, you can discuss this one, right? The potential solution. Or, right, in the discussion, in the review paper, you are discussing the current situation, challenges, prospect, right? At the same time, you have to give some input, some discussion. This is the problem, right? Then this one, the solution, potential solution. Then you need to do some research, future research, the potential future research, potential solution. You can add this type of things in the introduction or comparison, right? Comparison of different work. So you have reviewed already, I think, as for example, more or less 100 paper. So based on their findings, you can compare the result. So which one is similar, which one is deviate, and why similar, why is not similar. That one you can discuss in the discussion section. This one also can.
Okay. Thank you very much for the nice answer, Prof. Hasanuzzaman. Okay, is there any other question from participants? No? I think it's pretty intense. The pretty intense the topic you brought to tonight, Prof. Hasanuzzaman. Is everyone is struggling with this ethical issue.
Oh yeah, ethical
Right.
issue now it is really a great challenge, the
Right.
ethical issues.
Okay.
So
I think there is no other question. So most of the students contact me, most of the participants contact me that about, is it possible if we have the soft copy of your presentation file?
I think later I can discuss with you personally.
Okay, that will be great, Prof. Okay, so I think we almost run out of time. So if any participant has another questions or comments or anything regarding this topic, please please do it right now because it's limited. We have limited time until 9:30. No other questions? I think there is no other question from the participants, Prof. Hasanuzzaman, and I think we can call it a day. So we can call it for this session. It's very interesting and very intense lecture for today's session, I think. Prof. Hasanuzzaman. Okay.
Thank you very much. I think Professor Sofian want to say something.
Yeah.
No, I'm good, Professor. Yeah, okay.
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 So thank you very much also from my side to organize this one. And you are most welcome if you want to arrange any further. I shall try to uh, what is called give time, and really very nice. And even student, I think there are more or less 50 students, very good. Their students are very energetic, I think, and time is also very limited.
Right.
If long time I can explain each and everything very details. And sometimes also the online system, there may be some very right some difficulties, some voice breaking, sometimes connection is not good. Okay, so
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, thank you very much from my side.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Prof. Hassan. Yeah.
Welcome.
Inshallah, we will invite you again for next time. We will organize a kind of workshop, perhaps, that you can show us for example, for each section, which one is correct, which one is wrong. Then it will be more, useful for our student as well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, Prof. I think yeah,
Yeah, maybe we can take picture
we
together.
can take
Maybe.
picture together before we close the session. So everyone,
Okay.
please turn on your video if you don't mind, so we can take a picture together. Okay. I think okay. Let's wait a few seconds. Yep, everyone is already turned on their camera. 1, 2, 3. Cheers. Okay, another one. Okay. Thank you very much for the
Okay,
nice
welcome.
presentation, Prof. Hasanuzzaman. Hope we can do another session in the next future, inshallah.
Inshallah,
Okay.
inshallah. So,
Thank
okay,
you,
thank
Professor
you very much. Bye bye.
Hasanuzzaman. Yeah, bye bye.
Ya.
Makasih
Thank you so much,
Cikgu.
ya. Terima kasih. Ya.
Sama-sama. Selamat malam.
Selamat
Selamat
Jumpa
malam.
lagi.
Ya.
Insyaallah.
Selamat
Selamat
malam.
sehat di sana. Ya.
Stay
Ya.
healthy. Yeah.
Hati-hati.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Ya. Pak Zaki, terima kasih banyak.
Sama-sama.
Okay. I will end this meeting now. Thank you very much for all the participation from participants and also from Prof. Hasanuzzaman. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Oke, Mas Zaki,
Assalamualaikum.
makasih
Bye-bye.
banyak ya.
Bye-bye.
Kurang.
Ya,